You see it almost every night. A familiar, silent companion in the dark. But what if this constant presence in our sky is more than just a beautiful light? What if it's a puppet master, pulling invisible strings that reach down from the cosmos and into the very core of our planet, our biology, and even our own lives? Most people know the moon controls the ocean tides. It's the one fact we all learn in school. But what if I told you that's just the beginning of the story? That this is the most obvious, but perhaps the least profound of its influences? What if this silent partner is subtly responsible for our stable climate, for the synchronized behavior of countless animals, and maybe, just maybe, for the hidden rhythms of your own life? Today, we peel back the layers of myth and mystery to uncover the evidence, asking the question, how much control does the moon really have over you? The planetary puppet master. Let's start with the big picture. Far beyond just sloshing water around in our oceans, the moon acts as a crucial stabilizing anchor for our entire planet. Earth doesn't spin perfectly upright, it's tilted on its axis by about 23.5 degrees. This tilt is the reason we have seasons. But this tilt isn't inherently stable. Gravitational nudges from the sun and giant planets like Jupiter are constantly trying to throw our axis off balance. Without the moon, computer simulations suggest that Earth's tilt could become much more erratic over long periods. It could vary by tens of degrees, creating catastrophic climate swings that would make the world we know today unrecognizable. Life as we know it would likely have been very different, and the path for complex organisms to evolve would have been much more challenging. The moon's persistent gravitational pull acts like a cosmic gyroscope, preventing these dramatic shifts and keeping our planet's wobble in check. It's a delicate gravitational dance that has allowed a relatively stable climate and predictable seasons to persist for eons, creating the necessary conditions for complex life to evolve and thrive. And it doesn't stop there. The moon is also a key reason we have a 24-hour day. Billions of years ago, the Earth spun much faster, with days that may have been as short as 10 hours. The same tidal forces that pull on the oceans also create a slight bulge in the Earth itself. As the Earth rotates, the moon's gravity tugs on this bulge, creating a constant, subtle friction. Over geologic time, this friction has acted as a brake, gradually slowing our planet's rotation to the familiar pace we know today and pushing the moon further away by about 3.8 centimeters each year. In a very real sense, the moon has sculpted the fundamental units of our time, the stability of our year and the length of our day. If you're already finding this fascinating, and you're starting to look at the moon a little differently, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps tell the YouTube cosmos that we're onto something interesting here. Nature's rhythm, okay, so the moon is our planet's bodyguard. But its influence gets way more personal for the creatures living here. All over the world, animal behavior is deeply synchronized with the lunar clock. One of the most spectacular examples of this happens on Australia's Great Barrier Reef. On specific nights following a full moon in late spring, hundreds of coral species take part in a mass, synchronized spawning event. Triggered by a combination of water temperature and the lunar cycle, entire reefs release trillions of egg and sperm bundles into the water all at once, creating what looks like a magnificent underwater snowstorm. This precise timing, coordinated across vast distances, is a survival strategy. By releasing their gametes all at once, the corals overwhelm predators and maximize the chances of fertilization. It's a planetary-scale reproductive event, and it's all set to the rhythm of the moon. While this is a famous example, it's not a universal rule for all corals, which can have different spawning times depending on their location. But it's not just corals. Countless other marine animals, like certain crabs and pufferfish, also time their reproduction to the lunar cycle. The strange and wonderful Pololo worm in the South Pacific emerges from its burrows to spawn in the last quarter of the moon. Grunion fish in California ride the high tides of the new and full moons to lay their eggs on the beach, timing it so precisely that the next high tide will wash their hatched offspring back to sea. The moon's influence isn't limited to the oceans. Its light is a critical factor for life on land. Many nocturnal predators are more successful hunters during the darkness of a new moon when prey can't see them coming. In response, some prey animals are more active during the bright nights of a full moon, using the extra light to spot danger. Even beneath the dense canopy of a tropical forest, researchers have found that many mammal species alter their activity based on the moon's phase. Some, like certain rodents, show lunar phobia, avoiding brighter nights, while others are attracted to them. For some migrating birds, celestial cues like the stars and sun are primary navigation tools, but the moon's light can also be an important factor on their long journeys. From the smallest plankton to the largest mammals, life on Earth listens to the moon. The human connection the moon stabilizes our planet and orchestrates the behavior of the animal kingdom. But what about us? This is where the science gets truly fascinating. And controversial. For centuries, folklore has connected the moon to human behavior. The very word lunacy comes from Luna, the Roman goddess of the moon. For a long time, mainstream science dismissed these ideas as myth. But a growing body of evidence suggests our ancestors might have been onto something. Let's start with our history. How did humanity first begin to track the passage of time? Long before solar calendars, there were lunar ones. Some of the oldest potential calendars ever discovered, such as markings on animal bones from tens of thousands of years ago, are interpreted by some as records of the moon's phases. Ancient civilizations from the Babylonians and Greeks to the Maya built their societies around lunisolar calendars, using the moon's predictable cycle to govern agriculture and plan religious festivals. This deep cultural connection isn't just an artifact of the past. Major global holidays like Easter, Ramadan, and the Chinese New Year are still determined by the lunar cycle today. But is this connection just cultural, or is there something deeper, something biological? The most compelling evidence comes from an area that affects every single one of us: sleep. A 2021 study in the journal Science Advances found a distinct link between sleep patterns and the lunar cycle. Researchers tracked individuals in diverse settings, from an indigenous community in Argentina with no electricity to college students in the bustling city of Seattle. The results were surprisingly consistent. In the 3 to 5 days leading up to a full moon, when moonlight begins to brighten the sky after dusk, people in all groups went to bed later and slept for shorter durations. The effect was more pronounced in people without access to artificial light, but it was still present even in a brightly lit urban environment. This suggests we might have an ancient, built-in adaptation to use the natural light of the waxing moon to be more active in the evening. While other studies have found inconsistent results or only minor effects, the persistence of this signal across different cultures has reopened the scientific conversation. Then there's the more debated territory. What about the so-called full moon effect on hospital admissions, crime rates, or psychiatric episodes? Here, the scientific consensus is much clearer. Large-scale reviews and meta-analyses have repeatedly found no statistically significant correlation. So why does the belief persist so strongly among many, including emergency room staff and police officers? It may be a form of confirmation bias. On a busy, chaotic night, people look for a reason, and the full moon is an easy, culturally ingrained scapegoat. The connection to the menstrual cycle is similarly complex. While the average length of the menstrual cycle is very close to the moon's 29.5-day cycle, large-scale studies have failed to find consistent evidence of synchronization. The connection is more likely a mathematical coincidence than a causal link. However, some newer research suggests temporary synchronizations can occur, so the question isn't entirely settled. So, from the very tilt of our planet and the length of our day, to the grand spectacle of coral spawning and the subtle shifts in our own sleep, the moon's influence is woven into the fabric of life in ways we are only just beginning to scientifically appreciate. It is not an all-powerful force controlling our every move like a puppeteer. Its gravitational pull on the fluid in your body is infinitesimal, less than that of a mosquito on your arm. But its cycles of light and its stabilizing presence have been a constant, rhythmic pulse throughout the entire history of life on Earth. The story of the moon is a story of connection. It reminds us that we are not separate from our environment, but deeply embedded within the cosmic rhythms that govern our world. It challenges us to look beyond the obvious and see the subtle, powerful forces that have shaped us. The next time you look up at the night sky, ask yourself, are you just looking at a rock, or are you looking at a hidden force that has shaped life itself? I want to know what you think. Does the moon secretly influence us? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you enjoyed uncovering these cosmic secrets, and you want to explore more of the hidden forces that shape our world, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss what we uncover next. Thanks for watching. Stay curious. And keep looking up.